Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be showing you this makeup look right here, which is my makeup look for when I'm feeling extremely tired and extremely sick, which is definitely me today. I only slept a couple hours last night and just have not been feeling good. I've been up sick all night. So long story short, my skin was looking very dreary, very dull. My dark circles were out to play. They're super dark and crazy today, and I just wanted to do a look that's going to liven up my face and make me look alive and healthy and more luminous and just all over better rested and healthier. So if you want to see my tips and tricks on how to achieve this look, then please keep watching. So my skin was looking real dull and tired and sickly, so I already applied my primer, which is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. And now I'm going to prime my eyes with my MAC Painterly Paint Pot, because especially when you're sick or tired, you get a lot of darkness around your eyes, and of course under your eyes. These dark circles are on fleek today. But I always need to do this too, just because my eyelids are naturally oily. And then for eyes, I'm going to use my Kevyn Aucoin The Contour Book Volume 2, which looks a little like this. And I'm going to use these eyeshadow shades because they're cool toned. And when you have anything like warm or ready toned around the eye, it can really make you look sickly or more sickly than you are. So I'm really going to try to stick to some cool tones today to kind of make everything look a little healthier in the eye area. So I just set my entire lid with Candlelight powder right here, which is like their highlighter shade, just to get something on there. And I think this brush has a little bit of some other colors on there, oopsie. But I'm just going to go in with this cool tan shade now and put this through the crease, just to get a little bit of definition and make sure we don't look too dead tired. Now once that's in the crease, I'm going to take this Starlight shade right here. Excuse the dog barking in the background. And this is like a cool toned pink, just to kind of brighten up the eyelid. This goes on pretty sheer, but it just kind of helps add a little bit of light to the eyes, especially when they're nice and dark from not sleeping. And for me, when I'm sick or tired, I just want to curl my eyelashes to make sure my eyes look nice and wide open. It gives you a little bit more of an awake effect. And typically I would just skip eyeliner because I want my eyes to look as bright and open as possible. But I'm feeling eyeliner today, and it's kind of nice to get a little bit of definition, especially when you feel like your eyes are just disappearing into your face from fatigue. So I'm going to use this NYX eye and eyebrow pencil in the shade Dark Brown, and just smudge this along the lash line and wing it out a teeny tiny bit. And then, as you can see, I just winged out the liner ever so slightly. You can totally skip that step too and just do a straight line. And then I'm going in with this Rimmel Wonderlash mascara, and I'm going to apply a ton of this. Actually, scratch that, I totally forgot a step, my mind's not all there. I'm going to use my Revitalash Volumizing Primer because my lashes really need all the help they can get. And this is a bright blue primer for the eyelashes. And then after the primer, I'm actually going to use a different mascara. I'm going to use my old standby, which is the Tarte Gifted Mascara, just because I want really fluttery, really thick, lush lashes today. Moving on to foundation, I wanted to pick something super glowy, so I went with this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation, and I have the shade Fairlight Neutral. And I really like this because it really leaves a super glowy, like luminous finish to the skin. And it also has SPF in it, which is really nice, but I just love the finish of this foundation. So I just took one dropper full there, and I'll spread that around on the T-zone. And the other reason why I selected this foundation is because it has a nice buildable coverage, and for me today my skin is just angry and nasty just from being like sick and tired, not sleeping, laying around all day like in your own grease, you know. It just isn't looking its best, so I want to be able to kind of build up the coverage but not look too cakey and dry. I want to look healthy and luminous, and this is a really great foundation for that. And I definitely need one more dropper full at least today, so I'm taking one more and I'll start spreading that around on the cheeks. So I ended up blending out both those pumps of foundation and adding another half a pump just in this area here on my cheek where I have extra scarring, and around my chin where I also have some scarring. So it blended out pretty nicely. The Beauty Blender applies that foundation super beautifully, and it's kind of like looks very skin-like. So it's nice and not too cakey and dry. And now we're going to move on to under eyes, which really need some help. As you can tell, the dark circles are out to play because I only slept a teeny tiny bit last night. So I'm going to start with my Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector. And this is just going to beef up my, like any concealer I put underneath it. It's just a very brightening product. I really like this also. You can put it on top of your concealer, and you can also reapply it at the end of the day if you see your darkness peeking through and you need to kind of brighten up that area. I apply this just like very lightly, dab it on top of powder, and if you have oily skin, it can tend to crease, but if you have dry skin, it would sit really beautifully. And then for concealer, I'm going to use my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Ultra Longwear Concealer, and this is in the shade 1C, which it's hard to tell on camera, but it's kind of a very, has a peachy undertone, which is exactly what I need today to cancel out these dark circles. I'm gonna use a lot of this under the eye just because I need it. And then I'm also going to take it up onto the tops of my cheekbones here because that's going to kind of help lift the face up and make you look like younger and more awake and just healthier. So I'm going to blend out the concealer with my damp beauty blender and blend inwards. And always make sure you're getting your concealer on this inner corner, which can get super dark, especially when you're tired or sick, but just every day. That tends to be kind of like a dark spot on your face where if you don't cover it up to match the rest of your makeup, it looks extra dark. That is as good as the concealer is going to look and as covered as my dark circles are going to be, so I'm just going to set it quickly with my Laura Mercier Translucent powder, picking it up on the same edge of my damp beauty blender and just pressing it into that area to set everything down. And then to set the whole rest of the foundation on the face, I'm going to use my favorite powder ever, which is the MAC Mineralize Skinfinish, and I have the shade Light Plus because any kind of mineral powder that kind of is sheeny, it's really going to help brighten you up and make your skin look not so dull. If you use a real matte powder, like matte powder, it can make you look really flat, and that's just the opposite of the look that I'm going for today. I'm trying to look not sick and awake. Now, if you're sick to the point where your face is kind of sunken in and looking really like just like withdrawn, then skip this step, but I'm kind of at the stage where I didn't sleep, so my face is nice and puffy and round, and I want to add a little bit of definition back in. So I'm going to take my Benefit Hoola blush, this is a little sample size I have, and my NARS Ita brush, and first I'm going to contour the nose, just because I like to do that since I'm so fair, and don't worry, we'll blend that out later, and then I'm also going to contour on the cheeks just a little bit. So I just roughly left that on, and then to kind of blend out the nose contour, I'm going to go back over with my powder brush. And for bronzer, for the rest of the face, I want to pick something warm toned because if you're looking sick, you want to kind of add that life and warmth and like you've been in the sun and like you've been sitting in the dark for, 24 hours straight. So I'm going to go in with this is the Guerlain Terracotta bronzer, but I also really like the Becca Sunlit bronzers. As you can tell, this one's just kind of more orangey toned and like a lot warmer. This is one of my warmest bronzers, so I really like using it on days when I want to look super alive and like I got some sun and I'm very healthy. So I'm putting this on the top of the forehead because that's where like a place where the sun would naturally hit, and also just a little bit down the bridge of the nose to make that look like it got sun-kissed. And then I'm also going to blend out the contour with this. I also forgot to mention when I was talking about my concealer, you don't want to go with anything too yellow or a yellow setting powder, because if you go with a super yellow toned under eye concealer, that's another look that can make you look a little bit more sallow and sickly. So that's why I went with like the very pinky salmony concealer today. But moving on to save the day and make me look real healthy, I'm going to need a beaming highlight. So I'm going to mix together some of these ones from the Lumi Glow Nude palette, and this is in the shade Sunkissed. It's the like slightly darker, warmer toned one. I'm going to mix maybe all three of these lighter ones together actually. Let's just try this lightest one first and see how it looks on its own. I haven't used this one by itself. Oh, that's super pretty. So I definitely want a lot of highlight to look very like radiant and like I'm healthy, so I'm gonna really pack this on all over the face. And I really like this light color for the center of my face. I'm gonna use this on my nose and my cupid's bow and also on the regular cheekbone points. But then I'm also gonna mix together these two here and put a little bit of this on top of the cheekbones as well, just to deepen it up a bit and make the highlight a little bit more intense. Oh yeah, that gives like champagne pop vibes for sure. And now for blush, I definitely want to go with a really bright blush to make me look rosy and flushed and healthy. So I'm going to pull out my e.l.f. blush palette in the shade Light, and I'm going to mix together these two here, which has been my favorite combo recently, just to really brighten up the cheeks. And this blush is super pigmented, so it might be doing too much. It's a little bright on me right now, so I'm just going to go back over with my damp beauty blender, and this is just going to blend together the bronzer, highlight, and blush and make it look a little bit less intense. And I just applied another layer of upper lash mascara, and I'm actually going to apply bottom lash mascara with my Clinique Lash Power Flutter to Full Mascara, and I keep this turned to the most natural setting and use that for my bottom lashes. And you can really go two ways when you're doing a sick or tired makeup look. You can avoid bottom lash mascara altogether because that can look really natural and bright and like your eyes are open, or you can go for trying to really define your eyes and make them the center focus so that you like have something very like striking to draw people into so they don't notice that you're ill. So I'm going for that vibe today, I guess. Just really packing on the mascara, just because that's what I'm feeling, but it's a judgment call for you if you want to do bottom lash mascara or not. And then I'm going to quickly fill in my brows with my Clinique Superfine Liner for Brows in Soft Brown, which is my holy grail favorite brow product. And I'm going to set my brows with my Hourglass Arch Brow Volumizing Fiber Gel, and I have this in the shade Soft Brunette, just to make sure these stay in place. One final step for the eyes is to go back into the Kevyn Aucoin palette and use this Brighten shade, which is my all-time favorite inner corner highlight. And I'm just going to highlight my inner corner because, like I said, this area can get super dark, especially when you're sick and you want your eyes to look very bright and open. I'm also going to add a tiny bit of this to the brow bone to kind of lift that area and make the whole look a little brighter. And then for lips, there's a lot of different products you can use. I definitely want a like hydrating gloss today, but I'm going to line first with this Rimmel Exaggerate lip liner in the shade Eastend Snob. And then there's a lot of different glosses, obviously. Some that I like are this Tarte Lip Quench in the shade Rose, which is a really nice like warm toned color. I like a lot of different glosses, like the Sarah Happ glosses or the Dior Lip Maximizer, or anything that's going to make your lips look really shiny and full. But I'm going to go with actually what I used in my last video, which is this Revlon Super Lustrous lip gloss in the shade Rosy Future, just because this is a nice like warm color that's really going to add something to the lips and make them look nice and juicy. And a bonus step to finish off this makeup look is to use a setting spray, and I have this Glam Glow Glow Setter makeup setting spray, which I'm going to spray all over. And while I wait for that to dry and set, I really like using a setting spray when I'm sick just because it adds a little bit more luminosity to the skin, and you don't know if you're going to be getting the chills or be sweating or both all throughout the day, and you kind of want to lock in the makeup and also give yourself just a little bit more hydration and boost to your makeup. And that's it for this makeup look for a day when you're feeling sick or super tired. Hopefully I look a little healthier than I did at the beginning of the video, and you got some good tips for how to look a little bit more awake and healthy even if you're not. As always, all the products I mentioned will be listed in the description box down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already so that you don't miss my next video. I upload 2 days a week on Monday and Thursday, and thank you so much for watching.